Welcome, everyone. We are back with an all-new episode of Seize the Day. My name is Sadie with the New York Marine Rescue Center, and as always, we are filling your minds, your homes, and your classroom with marine science, conservation, and education. Welcome to the New York Marine Rescue Center. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization located on the east end of Long Island. We are back for our third segment in our series about human interaction. Our focus this month is vessel interactions or strikes. We are going to focus on what constitutes as a vessel strike, how they happen, who they affect, and how they can be prevented. We will get to meet our resident patient at the New York Marine Rescue Center and learn all about her story. And we even took a trip down to Crystal River in Florida to talk with experts about how vessel strikes affect their local wildlife. A vessel interaction is the collision between any form of watercraft and a marine animal. There are two types of these interactions: blunt force or propeller strike. Not all collisions involve the propeller of the boat. Blunt force trauma by boat is when an animal is hit by the body of the vessel, like the hull. It can cause significant bruising, broken bones, and hemorrhaging to the marine animal. Propeller strikes cause deep cuts in the tissue or flesh of whales and sea turtles. Sometimes, this injury may result in a series of scars, or death, depending on if the main arteries have been badly cut, or if the spinal cord has been affected. No matter the size of the boat, jet ski, or ship, and what it's used for, commercial or recreation, there is a chance of interacting with a marine mammal in the ocean. Unfortunately, some boats either inadvertently or deliberately encroach upon sea animal territory, or intentionally approach too closely to facilitate observations. These collisions occur throughout large commercial shipping areas out at sea, but they are also common throughout marinas, inlets, and busy channels. The vessel responsible for a collision may not notice, and the incident may go unreported. As a result, the animal could be left for dead or seriously injured, not to mention the costly damage upon the vessel. Marine animals are not always visible from the surface because of their countershading camouflage, mixed with tides and currents. If a boat is moving just a little too fast and cannot see the animal nearby, a strike may occur. Marine mammals and sea turtles are most vulnerable to vessel strikes because of their time at the surface, as well as their shallow water foraging behaviors. But any form of marine life that is in the proximity of boating activity could be put at risk. According to NOAA, large whales such as northern right whales, seals, sea lions, and sea turtles, especially leatherbacks, are most susceptible to boat strikes. Vessel strikes are one of the most common causes for sea turtle strandings in the United States. It is estimated that hundreds of sea turtles are struck by vessels every year in the United States alone, and many of them go unobserved. In our New York waters, most vessel strike cases take place in the summer months, as recreational boating increases with the seasonal change, and these cases often lead to casualties. However, in locations such as Florida, where boating is a year-round activity, 20 to 30% of their stranded sea turtle cases are due to vessel strikes. There is an increase of vessel strike cases towards sea turtles during their nesting and breeding season, and when they bask near the surface. Cold stunt season also leaves turtles stagnant and defenseless at the surface when they lose the ability to swim and dive, leaving them in harm's way for any boat traffic. Here at the New York Marine Rescue Center, we have one resident patient, Chestnut. Chestnut is an Atlantic green sea turtle that was rescued by our team over 10 years ago during cold stunt season. When sea turtles are cold stunned, they become listless and buoyant at the surface, leaving them unable to swim. While floating at the surface, Chestnut was struck by a boat and sustained injuries to her carapace. Upon impact, an air pocket formed beneath her shell, close to her major organs. This injury permanently keeps her at the surface. This is a common injury amongst boat strike sea turtle victims, often called bubble butt. Many animals with these injuries are non-releasable and act as ambassadors for their wild relatives. Because Chestnut will never be able to go back to the wild, we're able to give her special attention, through training sessions, her favorite snacks, and even a customized vest made out of neoprene to help keep her upright and balanced at the surface. We love Chestnut and are happy to care for her each and every day, but we hope to see a decrease in the number of marine mammals and sea turtles that have been hit by boats. Not all vessel strikes will lead to permanent damage quite like Chestnut, but they can cause great discomfort, leave open wounds, an easy target for predators, and identifiable scarring. We took a trip down to Crystal River in Florida and had the opportunity to meet with the marine biologist and underwater photographer Jeremiah Johnson, part of the marine research and ecotourism group River Ventures. I wanted to know how a busy boating community has affected their resident and beloved species, the Florida manatee. Let's take a look. Hey, this is Sadie with the New York Marine Rescue Center with an important segment for Seize the Day. We are joined by JJ with River Ventures, and JJ has been our wildlife biologist and swim instructor for the day. So JJ, can you tell me a little bit about your job and what you do for River Ventures, and a little bit about, what your day-to-day looks like?
So I've been down here from Vermont. I've been down in Florida about 6 years, and I get to swim with manatees every day. Teach them about the environment, about manatees, about their habits, their little quirks, which we all love. And it's just amazing to be able to take people out and explore and share Florida with them.
The segment that we're focusing on for the next 4 months here, we've been really diving into the topic of human interaction, both good and bad. We know that there's really great things that come with human interaction, especially with ecotourism, which we will get into a little bit later. But you said something earlier along our tour here on Crystal River that you're able to identify manatees in particular based on the scars that they have. Can you tell me a little bit about what you see and how you pick up on those scars and what they're from?
For sure. So first time coming out here, to be honest, they all look the same. You can't tell them apart. As we're out here every day, we see the same ones over and over again. And I hate to say it, we identify them by their scar patterns. The average adult manatee will be hit 2 to 3 times in their life by a boat. It's not normally fatally, but it's enough. It's going to cut them. They'll bleed a little bit. They'll scar and heal up and be okay. And then that's how we identify them. So I know out of the close to 7,000 manatees they think they're in the state of Florida, I think they have over 3,000 or 4,000 identified, photographed and identified. But when we do see it, we take some pictures to try to identify the animal so it can be found later, and we call in and report it right away.
Perfect. What are the steps to that? Like, who do you call? And
So there's a hotline you can call, Florida Fish and Wildlife. All of the guides and captains out here also has a closed Facebook group. But if we see a manatee, we can take some pictures and post it on there and say, hey, if you're in this area, be watching for this one.
Right.
Extra sets of eyes on the water is always a good thing.
Now I want to get into the good parts of human interaction. It's great for education and a good way for people to experience this wildlife from a respective point of view, and to also give them that encounter. So can you tell us a little bit about the positives of what you do and what you see, and some maybe inspiring moments that you know of?
For sure. So a lot of it is just about educating people. They come out here, they might have studied it in school or seen some pictures or social media posts, but they don't know a lot about manatees. So it's about educating them on why they're here, what they eat, what their habits are. And it's pretty rewarding, I think, to kind of get out here and see people, people be crying in the water, laughing, giggling.
Do you feel like they leave here with a bigger appreciation for the waterways, for the animals that live in here?
I think so. We get a lot of kids that are like, I'm coming back. I'm going to be a marine biologist. I'm coming back. I want to work here.
We appreciate everything that you guys at River Ventures do, and we want to give you a big shout out for giving us the best tour today. We got to see 2 moms, 2 calves. We got to see the paddle of one on its way out. We had, unexpected conditions today, but we made the best of a day for sure. This is awesome. Thank you so much for taking us out. We can avoid collisions between watercrafts and marine animals by following a few simple tips. Take notice and obey the regulations and guidelines throughout the waterways in which you are traveling through. This includes traveling by the speed limits and following all designated buoys. If you have family, friends, passengers, or crew on board, appoint a spotter. It is helpful to have an extra set of eyes on the water, looking out for flukes, dorsal fins, blows, or any form of wildlife nearby. Wearing polarized sunglasses while on board a boat can help you see beneath the surface, increasing your chances of spotting a marine mammal or sea turtle. When a marine animal is spotted, take the initiative of safely operating the vessel by easing off the throttle, especially in deeper water. Switch to neutral and travel at a slow, safe speed, and leave the area if possible. Remember to keep your distance of at least 100 yards away, according to the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972 and the Endangered Species Act of 1973. We have teamed up with Tidal Tees, a conservation-minded line of apparel, to promote safe boating techniques and bring awareness to the sea turtle species, like leatherbacks, that are affected by vessel strikes. It's called Go Slow, Sea Turtles Below. You can help support our rescue and rehabilitation efforts with the purchase of any item from their leatherback collection. 100% of the profits from this design will support the New York Marine Rescue Center's response and rescue of sea turtles in New York. And their stuff is really cool. Stay tuned for another episode of Seize the Day, premiering next month, where we dive into our fourth and final topic within human interaction. It may be hard to swallow, but we are talking about marine debris and plastic ingestion. If you encounter a stranded, injured, or entangled mammal or sea turtle, please call the New York Marine Rescue Center hotline at 631-369-9829 immediately. And if you're out of state, call NOAA Marine Animal Hotline at 866-755-NOAA.